Hello everyone. Good evening. Sagar this side. So we are starting in another 1 2 minutes. So meanwhile, how if you can give us some inputs on the first demo, or anyone who is joining for very first time today, who had not watched our previous demo which we took yesterday. So I can see Abdullah, Dhananjay. I think you guys were present in the last demo, right? Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
everything is good.
Okay, okay. So how was the demo, guys? I mean, was it informative? Hello.
Hello. Yeah, it was informative. Yeah, it was a great demo yesterday.
Okay, great, Monish. Yeah. So,
Yep,
guys,
yep.
yeah. So the agenda for the today would be Shank, who is our co-trainer, who would be demonstrating Cisco ACI, the data center component, and Cisco Nexus. Okay. So if you have any sort of data center related queries, or if you uh, are into a data center engineer or get want to get into data center stream, then this is a right platform where you can interact with the CCI trainer, who himself is a data center CCI certified. Okay, and yeah, so we had provided the recording for the last class. I hope you guys are part of that WhatsApp group where we provided the uh, recordings. And also we have got some materials from the trainer. So they are focused to the interview questions and answers. So we will provide those in the same WhatsApp group. So I request you guys join those WhatsApp group, which will be given today as well, so that you get some interview questions and some sort of materials done by our side. Okay. And I also want to show you some more detail. That is, let me share my screen. I hope you guys can see my screen. So guys, these are some of the courses, or the free session that we have pipelined for September. So we had Cisco SD-WAN covered in the last class. The demo link is already put up on the WhatsApp group. And today would be ACI with Nexus. It would be 1 to 1.5 hour of session. And tomorrow onwards, we have Python automation for next 2 to 3 days. And then we have a overlapping module in the evening Indian hours, which is CCNP data center. We have CCI Enterprise Lab session where we are covering two case studies, one on the BGP, other one on some port aggregation technology. So feel free to attend. These are all free sessions, and then if you like, you can continue with the full course. Okay, and also we have CCNP Encore NRC pipeline September 20 to 22nd. So these are all introductory classes, which just we have kept so that the students enrolling uh, can see the quality of our trainer or the materials that what we are gonna give, the lab access, etc., etc., which a lot of people have doubts before enrolling something, right? So we want to keep it more transparent. So we show all the materials that we have, and then it's up to students to take it further. Yeah. So any doubt? Yes, Dhananjay, I see you are unmuted. So do you have any question for me? Yes, Satya. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead. So guys, any question for me before I pass it to the co-trainer?
Yeah, hi. This is Satya. Hello, everyone. Good evening.
Yeah. Hi, Satya. Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah, thank you. Actually, I'm working as a data center engineer, and actually, I'm looking for ACI. And before ACI, I have to attend is I mean this one Nexus. Is it mandatory, or can I go with ACI directly without Nexus?
Yes, you can go directly with ACI, but again, I leave this question to the co-trainer who is a right person to answer. But these are all three different individual tracks, okay, which is part of our orchestration program. You can go with either ACI, or if you go with Nexus plus ACI, then that will be more beneficial as you are already a data center engineer. So that will give more familiarity with these tracks.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
but
Thanks.
but again, you definitely get more detailed answer by the trainer itself. Okay. So
Oh,
yeah,
okay. Yeah. Many thanks. Many thanks.
all the complete syllabus for each track is on our website, networkjourneydotcom, SDN orchestration. You will see a complete detailed course curriculum for ACI, SDWAN, also Nexus. Okay. Also, we have added one more component called as VXLAN. So if you guys want to go with all the four of them, then yes, feel free to get into that. If you want either one of them, then feel free to get enrolled only for one of it. Okay. So it's all your choice on what you want. These are more focused on the SDN topics. And yes, guys, as I told you, each lab has 300 hours of uh, lab access as well. So you get 300 hours of lab access for each track. So you can practice in very good in-depth on each technology. So we focus on practical rather than just theory, which you can get anywhere nowadays. But when you do something practical, you get more familiar with these topics. So any further questions for me before I pass it on?
Please share the WhatsApp link here.
Yeah. So our backend team will share it in few minutes. So all our material, study material, which I told you, the SD-WAN, ACI Nexus interview questions and the recordings or the enrollment, it will be easier if you guys can join this WhatsApp group. So we will provide you this in the chat over here. So please join this and then we can share whatever we have in that group. So we are all connected. Otherwise, in the Zoom, it's difficult to upload any file. Okay. So our backend team will do that in a moment. So you should get the WhatsApp link. So any questions? Any questions on this course or the content or lab duration?
One questions I have it.
Yes, go ahead, Hemant.
Actually, for this combo course, classes will be like one course at a time, right?
Yes, one after one. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's all I want.
Yeah. The reason why we pipeline this way is because see, let's say you're enrolled to this combo, you are into the ACI, you will be allotted with the lab hours 300 hours. And if we conduct parallelly one more batch of SD-WAN, now handling two lab at the same time would be difficult for you. 300 hours of ACI plus 300 of hours of SD-WAN. So you might somehow lose some of the lab session, or that will be a drawback. So what we do is we keep one at a time. So once we complete ACI and its lab, also same time you have finished it, or let's say we delay by one more week or something, we give enough time for you guys to practice. So once that is done, then we start with SD-WAN. You take enough time. It usually take 3 to 4 weeks to complete one module, and we give a grace period of one more extra week so that a student can practice whatever left out labs, and then we go one after one. So the things are in more sync rather than people missing out or feeling themselves lagging out, right?
Right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think
Yeah. And,
yeah, Satya, do you have any question or
yeah. One more thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Actually,
yeah, go
coming to
ahead.
the ACI, so fine. So I'm also looking for Nexus as well, but no problem. But let us come into the lab practice session for doing, I mean, Nexus. So do we have any simulation? So I mean, we have a GNS3, but apart from like going to
Yes.
that, so if we want to do the own labs, like can we provide? Can you providing any simulations which is related to Nexus?
See, we normally give our access to our lab. See, for example, these are on the PNet lab or EVNG lab, which is very similar to GNS. So this is for SD-WAN. Okay, and we also have one lab instance for the Nexus. So similar way we have for ACI also, which you can access from anywhere over on the internet. So the remote link will be accessible. You can access them and you can practice these labs. Okay, and these are very high consuming resource labs. So make sure, uh, in case if you want to have it on your own machine, we will provide with the UNL, but make sure you have enough resources like 32 vCPUs or more than 30 35 GB of RAM. Otherwise these instances may not run. Okay, so that's why what we do is we give 300 hours of lab access to each track, so that student have enough time to practice them. The course content is 30 to 40 hours, but you get 300 hours for practicing. So if you think, if you do some basic calculation, students can practice at least 3 to 4 times on one single track here. Okay, so we believe on practical rather than theory.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. All right, guys. So I'll hand it over to our co-trainer, Mr. Shank, and he will go through each one of aspect here, ACI and Nexus. So if you have any doubt regards to switching your career from enterprise or security to data center, or if you want to know any aspect on career growth in data center, data center is really very important these days. So trainer is the right person who would guide you. Okay. Shank, are you in the call?
Yeah, hi Sagar, how are you?
Hey Shank, hi. So the participants are eager for your session. So I hope,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
go through the, yeah. Thank you,
Okay,
Shank.
so
Thank you everyone for joining.
thank you, Sagar. Okay, hi everyone, how are you doing today? So welcome to the day 2 class of our SDN orchestration, where we're gonna dive and see the ACI and Nexus webinar. So today I've seen a lot of new participants. So let me introduce myself first. So Sagar, can you allow the screen sharing for me? Thank you. Yeah, hi Sagar, can you provide me the screen sharing? Okay, meanwhile he is providing the sharing. So let me introduce myself. So my name is Shank, and I am having a total years of 12 to 13 years of total experience. And I will be the instructor for this complete course. And I am triple CCI certified, CCI in data center, routing, switching, service provider. And I passed my CCI is around 10 years back. And after that, I am CCD written and VCP, VMware, and V certified as well. Okay, so I worked on lot of in lot of organizations where whether it is enterprise or the service providers or your consulting companies, and I made a lot of design solutions, migrations of data centers and all. Okay, from past you can say around 8 years, I worked on the data center technologies itself. I worked on the ACI on one of the largest company in the Fortune top 10 list, where I manage around 35 data centers all around the world on the ACI itself. Okay, so having a deep experience on ACI related to troubleshooting and all that stuff. So yeah, that's all about me. So again, guys, those who are new today and joined for the first time, I request you guys 4 or 5 people to provide your introduction. What's your name? What's your location? your current role in the organization, and what you want to expect from this course. Okay, so I can make a custom tailored course according to your expectations. So anyone, 4 or 5 people can provide me the introduction, please.
Hi, my name is Ali Ammar,
Hi,
and
Ali.
how are you, Sean?
I'm good.
So I am in Virginia, US, and I am working as a network engineer for a private organization. It's a broadcasting company. So the like my responsibilities include managing our data center and network security, so working on firewalls, the wireless controller, and about our switching and routers. So pretty much everything in our network is my main responsibility. So out of this course, I just want to enhance my data center skills because we have Nexus 7K, 5K, and 2Ks, which soon we are going to replace with Nexus 9Ks. Like the faxes, I guess, are going away, and they are going to be soon replaced in our environment with Nexus 7K. So I just wanted to, grip my want to enhance my skills in ACI and SD-WAN, because we are deploying SD-WAN routers as well. So for that purpose, SD-WAN will be a good skills to have on my side. And we are also deploying Cisco DNA Center physical server. So these all things will help me in managing the new equipment in my role.
Great, Ali.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, anyone else want to speak?
Hello.
Yeah,
This
Hemant,
is
hi.
Hemant. Yeah, this is Hemant from, currently I'm working in Japan. I'm from Nepal. I'm working as a network engineer, but I don't have much idea about data center. So for enhancing my knowledge and want to know about the data center, so I don't know about anything, but I want to learn. That's all. Thank you.
Okay, great, Hemant.
So
hello,
can you
sir.
hear me? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yeah, Ishan,
Yeah.
tell me.
Hello. So my name is Ishan. I am from Germany, and I'm working for a company. So our work is actually on all kind of devices, on Catalyst, Nexus. So I got an opportunity to work on Nexus 2K, 5K, 7, and 9Ks. And our network, my company is actually a kind of a service provider, not an ISP, but we provide services to all the big companies here. So we work with all kind of devices, all kind of networks, and there are a lot of opportunities in the future for me. So that's why I'm actually, my thing is that my goal is that if I join this course, I'll get more experience, and I can in future definitely progress. That's why I'm joining this.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Amja. Okay, guys, so anyone else want to speak?
Sir, my name is Abdullah Amar. I'm from Sudan, but I live here in Saudi Arabia. I have right now I have no experience in networking as general. I just got my CCNA. The reason I want to join this course because I want to learn more about ACI. I heard about it months ago, but I don't know what is it.
Okay, great. Yes, Ali. So I'm not able to hear you, Ali.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hi, Kritika.
Hi, so I am a network and security service engineer. Currently, I'm working in Rockwell Automation. So here I work on different network assessment plus cybersecurity assessment in different parts. So I want to improve my skills in network automation by learning Python. So right now I'm learning Python from my own side, from different platforms, online platforms. So, but I want to make myself master in network automation, including this with a cloud platform, Amazon or any cloud. So I hope this training will help me out to learn my new skills.
Okay, great, Kritika. So again, you must also join our automation class as well. So there will be a automation class gonna start as well.
Okay, so will it include some cloud or containerization?
So again, you can just mail on the backend team and then they're gonna help you in that.
Sure.
But the
Okay.
demo
Thank you.
class gonna start on 30th of September.
Okay, by tomorrow. So
Yes.
how can I get the link of that demo class, or to whom I have to contact?
Yes. So you just need to do the email on this networkjourneydotcom @gmail.com or on the below WhatsApp number, which is presented on my screen, and then you will get it.
Okay. Thank you so much for this information.
Thank you.
Hi, Shank.
Yeah, hi, Ali.
Yeah, hi, Shank. This is me, Ali. And I'm a network engineer located here in Saudi. Actually, I'm a Sudanese. And now I'm working as a network engineer with responsible for, like you can say, more than 900 plus switches and 300 routers, but all are like Huawei based. Now I'm working for Huawei. But actually now I'm getting the chance to move on to back to Cisco. Before I joined Huawei, I was like a Cisco guy. So now I'm preparing for my CCIE. I already have the written, and also in my new vacancy that I'm planning to apply for, it's required ACI. So I have already cleared the SDN, the SDWAN course with you. Now maybe I'm planning to go with the ACI.
Okay, great, Ali. Okay, guys. So we have a mixed audience where some people are on the entry point, some are in middle, some want to enhance their skills, some want to learn new skills. So definitely, if you have previously attended any of my course or in this course also, what I used to do is I used to start from the scratch, okay, and then I go to up to the advanced level. So for today class, we're gonna discuss on the ACI, but first, before discussing the ACI, let me tell you where that fits, what is the track and all. Okay, and so the flow of the class gonna be 10 minutes. I'm gonna tell you about the most commonly asked questions, so you don't have if you have any doubt, so that it will be clear in those questions. And after that, I'm gonna take the topic related to ACI for around 1 hour. And after that, in the next last 15 or 20 or 30 minutes, we're gonna take your question. So whatever your questions related to the batch or related to the course content and whatever it is, or technical questions, I'm gonna take that. Okay, so that's gonna be flow of the class. So let me just quickly in the first 10 minutes tell you about what is this course all about, what we need to cover, what we're gonna cover, what are our timings and all that stuff. Okay. So as you can see on my screen, this is a combo batch related to Cisco ACI, SD-WAN and Nexus. Okay, you can enroll in different batch at at a particular batch, or else you can take a combo. Okay, the benefit of taking the combo is it will cost you less. Okay, before you ask me about the cost and all, so you will get a link on your chat where you can ask the questions related to the cost and all. Okay, so we're gonna start with the ACI or SD-WAN from 25th of May, 25th of September, sorry, and it's gonna decide based on the number of enrollments that happen. So yesterday, if you have attended, we have done the SD-WAN class. So today is the ACI class. So those who not seen yesterday class, it is present on the YouTube as well, and you will get a link shortly in the chat as well, where you can attend it. Okay. And also we're gonna add, so this is right now 3-in-1. So we're gonna add one more component in it, which is VXLAN. So it's gonna be 4-in-1 combo then. Okay, related to the course content. So again, this is the complete course content, but let me tell you what certification we're gonna touch it. Okay. So CCNP data center. So if you see the CCNP data center track, okay, data center track. So again, everyone, I hope whether it is a new person, they know about there are 3 different type of levels in Cisco. One is associate, second one is professional, and third one is expert. Okay, so CCNP star is it is a track for like is a level of professional level where you have data center track in which you have a professional and associate professional and expert level. Okay, so what we gonna touch it, so this is the exam number and this is the complete exam which we gonna see in this one. Okay, so it's implementing Cisco application infrastructure centric infrastructure DCACI. So this is the module or course that we're gonna take it. Okay, so again related to this module, if you can see it's syllabus. Okay, so this is the complete course outline, what we're gonna cover, a lab outline, all that stuff. Okay, you can also download the course overview and then you can see. Okay, again, there it is opening the same thing. So this is the exam or paper that we're gonna cover. Okay, again, the same type of contents we wrote it here. We have our lab workbooks related to that, which is our already, we created our lab. So we will use that as well. Okay, then for SD-WAN, this is the exam number 300-415. SD-WAN comes in your routing and switching or your enterprise track. So it is in CCNP enterprise as a one of the concentration exam. Okay, so this is related to SD-WAN lab. And then Nexus is in again in the CCNP data center where you have a Nexus course. And then we will gonna be cover related to that. Okay, our labs are on the virtual environment. So where you will already Sagar told you like 300 hours for every track you will get it. And there's a limitation in ACI that I need to tell you before that as we are using the virtual environment, so your control plane, management plane, all will be work fine, but we will not be able to implement the data plane. Okay, means you will able to do the whole configuration, everything. It's just like end-to-end ping will not work. Okay, so that is one of the limitation of the virtual environment for ACI. There is no limitation for SD-WAN, so that is all good. We able to do everything. And for Nexus, there are 2 topics like VDC and OTV. Okay, which is overlay this one, where we're not able to implement these as these will need a physical device. Okay, but I'm gonna give you the whole commands and I'm gonna put it how we gonna configure it. Okay, so I'm gonna provide that as well. Okay, then this is related to the SD-WAN. So this is our topology related to SD-WAN. This is gonna be topology for our Nexus. Then ACI also I have a topology. So this is our topology related to ACI where devices are connected to the ACI environment. Okay. So this batch is gonna start in. So this batch is of weekend batch where it gonna start at the same time 6:30 p.m. IST, and it gonna be 1.5 to 2 hours batch. Okay. And lab access. So we have our data centers in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So you will get access on any one of the racks in the data center, and it will be a per user access. So again, that is not shared with other user. So the complete rack, the complete devices are yours. You will do the configuration only. You will have the access on those devices. Okay. So every student will get its own lab access. So our lab instructor gonna provide you all the credentials related to yourself, and then you're gonna log in as per your own URL and IP address, and then you're gonna exit it. Okay, guys. So this is some of the most commonly asked questions that I want to cover before we start with our topics. So if anyone having a quick doubt, I can take 1 or 2 questions right now. So all good, guys? Okay. So let's start with the topic. So I usually teach on the, I don't prefer PPT for teaching. I usually teach on my iPad on the Blackboard. So again, that will be better than PPT in my point of view. Okay, guys. And I want you guys to interact with me. I used to have a lot of interactions, so interact with me. So first of all, I need to ask one question with you guys. What do you mean by data center? Why we need data center?
To host all the servers in a single platform.
What else?
So as I know so far, data center is like a physical location where we will have like a network device deployed and connected to like a backend servers that they are providing like special services that need to be accessed maybe from the outside or maybe within the private network of that company.
Okay. What else, guys? Anyone else want to speak?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, Sheshan.
Yeah, basically, data center is basically there to reduce the footprint of multiple hardware, because rather than having one devices per hardware, you can have multiple applications per hardware. So that reduce the amount of space, electricity, and management it requires to operate a network. So that's the requirements for a network, for data center.
Okay. So in a very layman language, if I say, so Ali, can you put your mic on mute, please? Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. So if I say in a very layman language, data center provides space for your network devices, for your compute devices or servers, for your storage, right? So again, these are one most important areas, and after that you have other devices to power up and all that stuff, right? And it is having the access from your outside world, inside of the company. Okay. So if we talk about Cisco, so again, this is for just the new guys who don't know about the basics of what is it in. So Cisco is having the data center track. So again, there are a lot of tracks: enterprise, data center, service provider, security, collaboration, right? DevNet or Dev. So again, we have a lot of tracks. So in those tracks, there is a one track which is known as data center, and we have three different levels related to data center. So one is CCNA level, which is an associate and introductory level. After that, CCNP level, and then we have an expert level, which is CCI. Okay. So here, what we're gonna take, we're gonna combine or do the CCNA and CCNP level. Okay. So this is we're gonna touch it on. Soon we're gonna start with the CCI data center class as well, but right now it is in pipeline. We're not yet decided the dates and all. Okay, so this is just a brief intro related to data center. Now, what is special in the data center? So again, data centers requires faster processing of your data on the network side. Again, you have a lot of servers which are hosting in the data center, and they require is fast processing and all that stuff. So for that, Cisco introduced a new generation of devices for the data centers, and those devices, they called it a particular series, which is known as Nexus series. Okay. So these are specific type of switches which are used in the data center, and nowadays some of these devices going to use in your branch locations as well. But previously when Cisco started deploying them or designed them, this design is specifically for the data center because they need a microsecond latency in the data center so that your traffic going to be switched as fast as possible. Okay, now where this ACI technology comes from. So yesterday I explained it in detail, but just let me explain it one more time because some of the new guys are present here today. So let me first explain them in a quick way. So what happens is now we are in the era of automation and programmable and software defined networks. Okay, so you guys have heard about this term which is known as SDN, which stands for software defined networks. Okay, so what gonna happen is software defined networks provides you the more centralized way of managing the things. It gonna provide you programming well interface. It gonna decouple your control plane from your data plane. Okay, so your control plane gonna be intact in case of failure of your device of data plane. Okay, so these are some of the benefits of your software defined network. So as this term comes, or this you can say particular era comes, so every company start jumping in the software defined networks and they start building their solutions. So Cisco also builds their solution related to data center. Okay, so now we have in SDN, we have three different areas where we can define our SDN solution or we can create the SDN solution. So what Cisco done is, so there is one, they create SDN solution for the data center. They create SDN solution for your WAN side, okay, which is known as SD-WAN, and they create SDN solution for your branch, which is known as SDXs. Okay. So the data center solution for Cisco that they introduce is your Cisco ACI, which is known as Cisco Application Centric Infrastructure. Other companies also have the solution. For example, if we talk about VMware, they also have a solution known as NSX for your data center. Then if I talk about Juniper, they also have a solution which is known as Contrail. Okay, so every company is having its own solution for the data center fabric. Okay, then SD-WAN is for your WAN side edge, where they provide the solution for it. Okay, and then in the SDXs, on the branch sides, they have a solution known as SDXs. So what's gonna happen here is the main component of any SDN solution is the centralized controller. Okay, which gonna provide the centralized configuration, centralized management, centralized troubleshooting, centralized access, all that stuff. Okay, so here the centralized controller that we use in ACI is known as APIC, which is Application Policy Infrastructure Controller. Then in SD-WAN, we have three controllers, which is known as vManage, vSmart, and vBond. So these are three different controllers we have in SD-WAN. Yesterday, I talked in more detail about that, so you can watch the video. And then in the SDXs, we have a controller which is known as DNAC, which provides your controller access for your this one branches. Okay, so this is the SDN solution, and as you guys knows, as we progress, I'm gonna tell you what are the benefits of using the SDN solution. What are the benefits ACI gonna provide you if you are implement ACI in your data center. Okay, so those we're gonna talk about in a minute. Okay, so again, let's jump back to our discussion of the Nexus series and how ACI connects with Nexus series. So as you guys know, there are special needs for your data center. So Cisco come up with the Nexus series for data centers for your networking part. And in the Nexus series, they made lot of sub-series. Okay. So let me give you the brief overview of these series. Again, guys, in our main classes, I took around 4 days to explain each of these series. But today, as due to time limitation, I need to cover it in 15-20 minutes only. Okay, but I'm gonna provide you the deep level on the every series what we gonna take it today. So the first series that is present in the Nexus is Nexus 9000, which is the latest series provided by the Cisco. So let me write the series is first and then I'm gonna cover it. Okay, so in the 9000 we have 3 different sub series, which is 9500, 9300 and 9200 series. After that, we have a series of switches of Nexus, which is known as Nexus 7700, then 7000, then Nexus 6000 series, Nexus 5600 series, then Nexus 5500 series, Nexus 5000 series, Nexus 4000 series, Nexus 3000 series. Again, in 3000, we have a lot of sub series. Then your Nexus 2000, which includes your 2300, 2200, 2100, and 1000 V series. Okay, so these are different series. So let me quickly tell you why we use these many of the series. What are the different applications where we use it? Okay, so in Nexus series, you have 2 different type of operating system, you can say, or you can say modes. So there are 2 modes. Your Nexus device can run in any of these mode at a particular time. So there are 2 modes, which is known as, one is ACI mode. So ACI mode is the operating system mode, which is used when you run your ACI environment, okay, over the Nexus device. And the basic one, or the classical Ethernet mode, which is known as Nexus OS, also called as Nexus mode, which runs for your non-ACI devices. Okay. So now here in this, my Nexus 9500 series and 9300 series can run in both mode. So they can run in ACI mode, or else they can run in NXOS mode as well. Okay, so these are the 2 series which will run in both the mode. Guys, if you have any question, feel free to ask in between. Do not wait till end related to this, what I am teaching. Okay. So
Mr. Shank, I have one question. Sorry to interrupt you. Regarding that, you have described in the previous slides that Juniper has control in data center environment, and in SD-WAN, what Juniper has, and SDXS, what Juniper has
so
in
again,
environment.
yes. So again, I cannot answer. Again, I can answer, but again, the point here is this is actually we are using of the Cisco, so that's why I am focusing more on the Cisco. But if you want, I can give you the complete comparison list of the different vendors, what are the solution they have. Okay, so I'm gonna provide it in later on.
Yes, sure, no problem. Thank you.
Okay. So 9500, 9300. Okay, and then after that, every other series that have only supports NSOX. So they're not gonna support ACI mode, first of all. Okay, so only 2 series you have, which is 9500 series and 9300 series, that only runs your ACI infrastructure or ACI mode. Otherwise, all other series will run your NXOX. Okay, so there are different devices we have in the ACI mode as well as in the ACI's series, or I can say Nexus series. So let me just quickly show you. So again, how many of you have visited the data center before?
Yeah, we have our own data center, so I have an idea for an XOS.
Okay, but how have you physically visited the data centers?
Yes.
Okay, so 1 or 2 people I am seeing which are seeing the data center. And how many of you have physically seen these Nexus devices? How Nexus 9500 look like, how 9300 look like. So 1 people I have seen it, 2. Okay. So mostly not people will not ever seen it or not familiar, but again, those, so again, I got around 4-5 output out of 40 peoples. Okay. So 1 in 8. So again, there is a good news, guys. If you're not seeing it physically, you can actually virtually see in the 3D environment. Okay. So let me show you. So again, there is a software or there is an online service of Cisco. So you just need to type it Cisco CX Catalog. Okay, so this is the link which comes. So mkon.com, and you can click on that. And then there is a tool which is known as Cisco CX Product Service Catalog. You can install it on your desktop if you want, or you can run online on the web itself. Okay. It is also available in the iTunes and Google Play Store. So Apple Store and the Google Play Store, it is also available. So once you install it, then you can virtually see the latest and greatest devices of Cisco. Okay. So let me just quickly show you. So Cisco CX Catalog. I have actually installed it over my PC. So let me show you. But again, you can see it online as well. So there is an option known as Project Catalog. Once you click on it, you can see the Cisco routers, switches, UCS, optical networking, HyperFlex, all that stuff. So we can go in the switches series where we have our MDS, ME, Nexus 2000, 5000, 6000, 7000, 9000. Okay, so these are different series that they have. So you can click on any one of them, and then you have a particular model of the devices which are most ordered or the famous one. So let's take 9516. So again, once you open it, you can see the complete switch in the 3D model. Okay, you can drag it to see it completely. So again, this is the front side where you have your line cards situated on the device, and then on the bottom you have your supervisors and your power supply. So again, these many of 10 power supplies it can support, and then you can flip it down to see it on the other side. So again, these are your fan modules, these are your fabric modules. So any of the Cisco switch or router, you can see it in a 3D way here. Okay, and then if you want to go in much more deep way, you can see it. For example, I need to see one of the line card. Okay, so I click on here on the remove button, and it's gonna remove it for me. And then you can see how your line card looks like. It's gonna also provide you the information. This line card is of 1 to 10 gig line card for 4 port 40 gig USFP. It supports your Nexus OS and ACI mode. Okay, so it's gonna provide you like that. So again, on the chip level also you can see it. Okay, same way for example, you want to remove the fan tray, you can do it. So everything you can see it like that way. Okay, so this is the fan tray. So again, if in the real production environment any issue comes in your related to the hardware, you want to see where that exactly happens, or like where is your supervisor module in a particular device, then you can see it here as well. Okay, so I've clicked on the supervisor engine. I can zoom it as well, so to get it in a more closer view. Okay, it's gonna provide you the information as well. So this is the supervisor engine. Again, in my classes, I'm gonna take in a very deep level where I'm gonna tell you about everything related to the supervisor and all. Okay, then you have a fabric module. So again, there are a lot of things you can see it here. So fabric module present on the back side. So here this represent the fabric module. So this way you can see. So this is related to all the switch. This is Nexus 7K, 6K, 5K. Okay, so latest and greatest series, and they keep on adding the devices in this catalog. So you can update the catalog and then you will be presented with the new devices. Okay, so your routers are also having your ASRs, ISR, CSR, MCS, all that stuff. Your UCS server, you can check it out. Okay, your DNA catalog, which consists of your new devices, which supports DNA. So your routers related to DNA, your wireless devices, okay, everything you can see it. So this is again one of the access point. Okay, how it looks like, what are the things. So again, nothing special more in this. So yes. Okay, your wireless LAN controllers. So this way you can see the devices and your switch is related to DNA. Okay, so this is related to the Cisco CX catalog, which you can see if you're not familiar with the hardware devices. So again, that is one of the good tool that we use. Okay, so coming back to the series that we have. So mostly Cisco designs these series. So again, 95, 93 is for your ACI. After that, we have our series of 9200. After that, we have our series of 77, 7000, which is mostly used in your core or distribution layer. Okay, and then your Nexus 6056 till 55, it is used in your access layer. Okay, then your Nexus 5000 is obsolete. Now you will not get it. Your Nexus 4000 is specially designed for the IBM Blade Center. Okay, so this is a switch only used for the Blade Center, IBM Blade Center. So you will not find it much here, okay, in your environment. The Nexus 3000 series is for your high computing environment where you will do a lot of frequency tradings and stock tradings, all that type of stuff. Your massively scalable data centers. So those where the latency is in nanoseconds, where latency is important. So for those areas, it's gonna do it. Okay. So Jeevan, can you please put your mic on mute? Thank you. The Nexus 2000 series is basically your fax series, which is an extension to your line card. Okay, but nowadays Cisco replacing it with its Nexus 9000 series more. So again, and then in Nexus 1000 is your virtual device series, where it is used as a virtual distributed switch for your virtual environments, whether it is VMware or particular, especially for the VMware. Okay, so these are the series we have in the Nexus or data center portfolio. So now we're gonna especially talk about today ACI. Okay, but again, we have around 4 or 5 days of discussion on all the series. Okay, so anyone having any question or doubt till here before we move on further? All good, guys, still here?
So what is the difference between ACI mode and NX OS mode?
Yes, that I'm gonna take it. Give me some time.
Okay.
So AC, again, although I'm gonna take it in detail, but here the point is ACI mode is your SDN solution. Okay, and NX mode is your normal traditional network mode. Okay, so before we move on further, I have a question, which is what are your traditional LAN network challenges in data center? So those who worked or even not worked, so what do you think of the traditional LAN network challenges you have? Tell me, guys.
VLAN numbers limitations.
Okay. So less VLAN, it is only up to 4096, but again, this is not a limit. So this is again not a limitation for the enterprise company, but yes, for the service provider company, that is a limitation. Okay, what else?
Port capacity.
Port capacity, or you can say scalability, right?
Yeah.
Difficult to scale. What else?
Management.
Management to every device is difficult. Okay. What else?
In
Troubleshooting.
LAN, there is a loop.
Sorry.
Troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting. What else?
Loop avoidance is a challenge.
So again, your STP is the biggest problem in LAN, right?
Yes.
It can avoid the loop, but again, it will decrease your bandwidth to the half, right?
Yes.
It
What
doesn't
else?
support virtualization of the application.
So virtualization of the application, what do you mean by that?
By that, our application can be anywhere in the data center in any rack, but its gateway will be on the all the leaves. But in traditional network, that gateway cannot be in all the leaves.
So again, okay.
I mean to say, when there will be a in data center, when there will be multiple racks, let's say there is an application, so application will be spread distributed on all the servers. So its gateway could be activated on any of the leaves, maybe on leaf 1, maybe on leaf 10. So that is the main problem, maybe.
So virtualization gateway, what else, guys? Provisioning of device. Provisioning of devices, okay. Upgrade of devices. What else? Programmability, automation, right? What else?
High latency issues.
In LAN. In LAN, you are getting latency issues. So maybe you are getting it, but again, that is not much in the latency. Again, if you are using the latest and greatest devices, so then latency is not a problem in LAN. It is a problem in WAN itself. Okay, so your one more.
It cannot talk to the Vim layer. With the controller, there is no way for the switches to talk to the application Vim layer.
So coordination, I can say coordination between network and server team is the issue.
Yes.
Okay. And what else?
How about public facing?
What about in public spacing?
In the sense, suppose if I want to publish the data center service to the external world on security front.
So security, basically it is a blacklist model. What do you mean by blacklist model? Blacklist model means everything is permitted by default. Unless until you are not putting, if you are not putting firewall, okay, everything is permitted, right? In the router or switch. Okay, guys. So these are some of the major issues. Again, we have a lot of other issues as well, but These are some of the major issues. So now let's see how ACI gonna solve these issues. Okay. So first of all, guys, before talking about how ACI gonna solve, let me tell you about the architecture. So previously in the data centers, what you're gonna see two tiers of architecture in the data center. So either it's gonna be 3-tier, okay, which needs or which have core layer, then your aggregation or distribution layer. I hope everyone knows about it, right? And your access layer. So this is a 3-tier architecture in the LAN, right? Then in some of the small size companies, you will find 2-tier architecture as well, where you have collapsed core. They called it, which is known as your core and distribution layer is in one layer. They combined it, okay, for small companies. And then you have access layer. Okay, but again, the problem here in both of these architecture is, first of all, your spanning tree. So again, these are the which I have listed the points. So again, these are the problems we have. So again, your STP is a problem because it reduces your bandwidth. Half of your links are blocked to avoid the loops, and then it reduces your bandwidth and all that stuff. Okay, so and other problems are as well, like blacklist model, everything is permitted, all that stuff, right? So what they come up with ACI is ACI uses a different type of architecture, okay, which is known as clause fabric. So why it is known as clause fabric? So clause is the name of a person who discovered this architecture, okay, and what is there in this architecture is you have two layers. So one is your core and distribution layer, and another one is your access layer, but they are not connected in a traditional fashion. So there are some rules to connect them, okay, which is not present in this 2-tier architecture, which you have in previous architectures. So what are those rules? So again, your core and distribution layer is known as your spine layer. Okay. And in access layer, you have a device which is known as your leaf. So your spines, so for example, if I have two spines in my environment or ACI fabric, and I have, for example, 3 leaves in my environment. So there are some rules. The first rule is every spine should connect to your every leaf. Okay. So this thing. Okay. Then your spine will not connect with each other. Your leaf will not connect with each other. Okay. So these are some of the rules of your clause fabric in ACI. Okay. It is not like clause fabric is only used for ACI. Previous technologies or previous generation also use it. For example, if you know about or heard about fabric path also uses clause fabric. Okay, these 2-tier architecture. Then your trill. Before fabric path, there is a protocol known as trill, which I'm not sure if anyone of us used it here. Okay, so that also use the clause fabric. Then there is a protocol known as VXLAN, which also use clause fabric. Okay, and then after that, ACI is also uses clause fabric. Okay, now the best point of thing here is all these links in between your spine and leaves are your L3 links. So there are no L2 links. So everything is L3. So there is no need of spanning tree. Okay, there is no need of any looping and all that stuff. And the protocol that they run in between is IS, which is automatically configured for you. Okay, so it's gonna provide you ECMP, which is known as equal cost multipathing. Okay, so it is again like your load balancing stuff. So your traffic gonna be equal cost multipathing or load balance between the spine and leaves. So for example, if I have one server which is connected to my leaf number 1, and I have another, so there is another server as well which is connected to leaf number 2. So my traffic gonna go from my leaves 1, it can go to any spine, and then from there it can reach to another server. Okay, so this can be one flow, the another flow can be this one through this spine. Okay, so between your server to server, there is only 2 hop away. Your traffic will be only 2 hop. So again, 2 hop means your 2 links it's gonna traverse always. Okay, and these spines will have a core control information. They have it also. Leave also maintains the MAC address table, all that stuff. But there are some different rules which we're gonna be applicable, which I gonna tell you in the complete course. Okay, so your spine gonna route the traffic, all that stuff for you guys. Okay, and this makes your complete ACI fabric. Okay, and your traditional network, if there is also one rule, there is, if any of the traditional network device you need to connect, then you need to connect it over the leaf. Okay, and this rule is 95% applicable, because there are some scenarios where you can connect your device to the spine as well. So those are advanced scenarios which we're going to talk about later, but for as of now, you can assume everything. For example, if you have a traditional switch or a traditional router, I can say, or your ESXi server, whatever it is. Okay, your load balancer, your firewall, everything is going to connect to your leaf. Okay, in 95% cases. So there are some rules where you can connect it to spine as well, but 95% cases you will find it with the leaf. Okay, so leaf gonna use your access layer. The devices that we're gonna use, so 9500 series, and we're gonna use for the spine layer, and 9300 series we're gonna use it for leaf layer. There are 2 device model for the spine of 9300 as well, but those are for very small organization. But for 99% in the cases, you're gonna see 9500 series Nexus switch devices for your spine layer, which runs in ACI mode. Okay, so your device needs to run in the ACI mode to implement this infrastructure or this fabric. Okay, so I hope everyone is having clarity of the connections and all that stuff. If anyone having any doubt, do let me know.
The spine will work as our traditional core layer, right?
Yes, so core or distribution, you can say it represents the core and distribution, and leaf gonna represents your access layer.
And normally we connect our firewall on the core layers, and here we need to connect our firewall on access layer. Is that?
Yes, yes. Okay, so any of the WAN connectivity, for example, this router or any service provider connection, what you need to do it on the leaf. Again, there are some implementation where we can connect it over a spine as well, but those are different ones.
Then where the spine will be connected means, will there be any other devices above that?
Where, sorry?
On the spine.
So again, the spine, for example, there are scenarios, again, that gonna be in advance, like your multi-pod or multi-site scenario where you have one different fabric of ACI as well, somewhere else in your source. This is your data center 1, this is your data center 2. If they want to connect to each other, so that spine gonna connect to this spine. Okay, so that ways. So there are some different scenarios. Again, there is one scenario of related to golf. Again, these are some advanced concept. Okay, so we're gonna take it later on.
Okay.
But anyways, for the basic type of scenarios, we're gonna connect it 95% cases in the leaf layer. Okay, so if you even see my diagram, you can see my everything is connected to the leaf. Okay, so your ESXi, your physical server, your user, your switch, your routers, your bare metals, your firewall, your load balancer, everything is connected to different leaves. Okay. And your leaf, if you want, your leaf gonna provide you the redundancy as well. So leaf 1 can be redundant of leaf 2 if you want. If you don't want, it can be standalone as well. Okay, so now let's talk about how it gonna eliminates the your traditional issues. So first issue is related to your less VLANs. So what ACI will do, a VLAN is not significant in ACI. ACI runs VXLAN. Okay. So in background, when your anything traffic comes from leaf to spine, okay. So in between that, they're gonna create a VXLAN tunnel. So between any two leaves, ACI gonna create a VXLAN tunnel. So let me just draw it in a nice different diagram. So for example, this is a spine and this is a leaf 1 and this is a leaf 2. So when anything comes to the leaf, it's gonna create a VXLAN tunnel which goes from the spine to the leaf 2. Okay. So this is a VXLAN tunnel. Again, guys, those who not know about VXLAN, so VXLAN is an overlay protocol which needs a IP connectivity in the underlay and then it can work over it. So it is like your GRE tunnel and IPsec, you can say IP, not IPsec, but you can say like a GRE tunnel, but again, it is somewhat different as well. Okay. So now the VXLAN is having 2 millions of, you can say VXLAN segments it supports. So instead of 4096, now you have a range of 2 million. Okay. So you can say a particular VXLAN is like a particular tunnel, a particular VLAN. Okay. Just a second, guys. Okay.
So something VXLAN we need to configure, or if it is
so VXLAN will be automatically, again, it will be automatically activate. So you don't need to configure anything related to VXLAN. Just a second, guys. Okay. Now, related to port capacity and scalability. So ACI is having a centralized controller which is connected to your leaf. Okay. So everything is going to be managed with that controller. So that controller is known as Epic. Again, for redundancy, I can connect it with 2 leaves, and you can ACI Epic can support up to 7 controllers, where 3 epics are in the active you can set, and then rest 4 you can set it in the standby. So one of your epic gonna fail, so standby will take over. Okay, so epic provide your centralized configuration. You can do whole fabric configuration through that, your centralized troubleshooting and your centralized management. Okay, so all these things Epic gonna provide. So related to port capacity and scalability, so what you need to do, you just need to connect your new switch. So if you fail with your ports, so what you need to do, you just need to connect your leaf new switch with your spine, and then it will start auto configuring itself from your complete fabric. Okay, and whatever policies you defined already in the fabric, it will take that policy and within the seconds it can be up. Okay, so there is no limitation of any port, because again you are maxing out horizontally, so scalability will not be an issue up to a certain point. Okay, so port capacity and scalability will be taken care of it, so no scalability issues.
Hello, Shank.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question here, please, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, regarding like the new candidate here, if we would like to add a new leaf switch, so and this switch is like being predefined with some configuration before, like what will happen exactly within the fabric? Is it going to disrupt the service running over the fabric, or?
No, it not gonna disrupt anything. It not gonna register with your fabric, because again, once you added a leaf, if it gonna take the configuration which is known as ACI fabric name, your fabric pod, and like that way. So there are some configuration that it's gonna take. If it found any mismatch in that, for example, this is a leaf switch from a different fabric that you took it and you not wiped it before putting it. Okay, so it's not gonna register with your epic, and then it's gonna be in the standalone. So it's not gonna disrupt any of your existing fabric. Okay.
Okay, so it's not like a VTP, for example, on the normal traditional network. Okay.
No. Okay, for management, you have a centralized management. Let me zoom it a little bit. So you have a centralized management of all of your devices which is present in the fabric, okay, from the epic. And even you can do the centralized, you can do the management of your VMware distributed switch as well. Okay, so there is a VMware integration which is known as VM integration, which you can now manage your port network related features of the VMware through ACI as well. Okay. So troubleshooting, again, you have a centralized troubleshooting through Epic. There are different troubleshooting tools which is present in the Epic, which you can use. Okay, then STP is not a problem here. There is no STP. All links are L3 links, which runs your ISIS protocol. And again, your ISIS automatically works. So there is no configuration required to run the ISIS. Okay, virtual gateway. So virtual gateway here, what's gonna happen? There is a concept known as pervasive gateway here. So what do you mean by that is, for example, I have a server, okay, which is connected in, for example, VLAN 10. I have created and put it that and connected it to my leaf 1. And I have another server which is in the same VLAN. So what is gonna happen is your gateway gonna present on every leaf. Okay, so for example, if the server's gateway is 192.168.10.1, so again, it's gonna be present on every leaf, which wherever you have that VLAN server. Okay, so then your traffic will not go up to the gateway to reach it to the other end. So it can be locally switched. Okay, so for example, if you have the same server connected in the same VLAN, so if we not do this thing, so what gonna happen here is, in that case, if you want to send the traffic from your server number 2 to server number 3, so what gonna happen? It's gonna go up to the spine, and then it gonna go to the gateway which is present on the leaf 1, and then it comes back, and then it goes to here. But what they implement by default, again, no configuration is needed for that. They make the gateway available on every device. That is known as your pervasive gateway. So now your gateway is present on here as well, on this leaf as well. So now what's gonna happen when server 2 wants to send the traffic, it goes to your local leaf, and then from there it goes to the server, okay, directly. So it will not go up to the spine, or you can say up to the core or distribution layer to get access to the same server. Okay.
So this point, Mr. Shank, this point can also save the redundancy of the server 1. If I can connect server 1 to leaf 2 as well.
So again, I'm not getting your question.
If we can connect server 1 to leaf 2 as well for redundancy purposes.
Okay.
So it will serve the purpose of redundancy of the servers as well.
Yes. So again, it can serve to that it can serve your leaf level redundancy.
Okay.
Right. If one of your leaf gonna fail, so your traffic will go via the leaf. So for that, your server needs to have a active NIC team.
Okay. Okay. Perfect.
Yes. or else you can do active standby as well if you want. So again, active needs your VPC, but you can do active standby as well, where leaf 1 gonna be active, leaf 2 gonna be standby, but as soon as your leaf 1 goes down, it will make your standby leaf to the active one. Okay, so
I think
that way also.
I think, Mr. Shang, it's also related to the VM migration, right? In case if we are doing a vMotion to migrate a VM from one location to another location, we don't need to change the network settings. Then it can still reach to the same gateway on every leaf.
Yes,
right?
yes. But again, guys, the gateway only present, it will automatically only comes when you have a connected server in the same VLAN. If you're not connected, then gateway will not present. It will be there in the programmable interface, but it will not be visible. Okay, so this is what I have told you about with the one VLAN. If you have multiple VLANs, all that VLANs will be having the gateways on all the leaves. Okay, so gateway redundancy is there. So virtualization gateway. Okay, so that's why you don't need HSRP here. Okay, so it saves your HSRP as well. So again, provisioning of devices is very plug and play, right? You can just plug and play your device and it will take the configuration from your existing templates, whatever you create. Okay, centralized upgrade you can do. It can do the centralized upgrade of your whole ACI fabric in a one shot. Okay, so there is a, what Cisco recommends is even an odd scheme to do it. So what it's gonna do, your every leaf will get a number. So for example, if you have here 4 leaves, okay, and you have 2 spines. So what it gonna do, it gonna, every leaf will get a number, and then you will decide what you need to do. So you can do it in odd and even fashion, where you can do, for example, I have a redundancy of leaves. So my server is connected to both the leaves, leaves 1 as well as leaf 2. And again, I have here's the server which is connected to my leaf 3 and leaf 4, both the leaves. So now what I can do, I can make odd leaves to upgrade first. And once they are upgraded, then I can upgrade my even leaves. Okay, so that way you can do, so that you don't have any downtime. Okay. So upgradation automatically you can do, you can just configure once, and once it is configured, it can do the complete automation. It will be programmable through your REST API and all that stuff. Okay, it supports Python, XML, JSON, every language which is present for your programmable of the device. Now your coordination will be less issue with the server team, as if you want, you can connect your distributed switch, virtual distributed switch with the ACI, and then whatever VLANs you need to configure directly, you can put the port group over the VMware. Okay, so your coordination will be easy. And related to security, so security, it is a whitelist model. Okay, so what do you mean by whitelisted? Whitelist model is everything is blocked by default. So what happens in ACI, for example, I have my spine, which is connected to my leaf. And then I have some servers and devices. Okay, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So now here in ACI, we create one logical grouping, which is known as EPG. Okay, EPG stands for endpoint group. So this is a logical group we create. So for example, I have, for this endpoint, I created one EPG, which is where I put this these 2 PCs in one endpoint group. Okay, then I created one here, and then I have created one endpoint group here. Okay, so what gonna happen? No matter whatever is your configuration, whatever is your VLAN or they are part of same VLAN, VXLAN, they are part of different one. The communication between different endpoint group is blocked by default. Okay, so your communication not gonna happen even if they are part of same VLAN. So for example, if they are part of VLAN 10, it is also part of VLAN 10, and you have set up everything. You have set up your gateway, everything. Okay, but by default, the communication will be blocked. Okay, so you need to allow the communication manually, and there is a term known as contract for it. You need to write a contract, which is like your ACL, you can say Excel list, that will allow the communication between your different endpoint groups. So by default, ACI is very secure. It will not allow you to communicate between your servers unless until you allow the contract between them. But again, between your endpoints, by default, it is enabled. So your communication in the same endpoint group is allowed by default. Again, if you want to not allow that communication, you can block it. Okay, there is one switch. We just need to turn on that knob, and then it will be blocked as well. Okay, so that is known as your blacklist model, whitelist model.
I have a question. So if these PC1 and 2 are in the different VLANs, okay, still will they be able to talk to each other?
Yes. So again, there
if they are in the same EPG.
So again, there are some different concepts related to this. For example, here the VLAN doesn't matter. All matters is your bridge domain. So bridge domain is again a different concept. So again, I need to talk about that in detail so that you will be able to understand. But again, if everything is set up correctly, whether if they are in the same VLAN, different VLAN, doesn't matter. Okay, they can be able to talk if they are part of the same EPG.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So I think, Mr. Shank, what you want to tell here is like, now we don't consider the subnets, the IPs or the VLANs.
Yes.
We consider something else, right?
Yes. Here the subnet, again, your broadcast domain, which you define at the subnet level, here it is group of subnets. So here the broadcast domain is little bit different. So rules are different. Okay.
And the EPG systems should be under the same leaf.
Doesn't matter. So one EPG can be created, like you cannot create EPG like that way, two different in two different leads. Okay, so they should be in the same type of leads. Okay, but again, these type of things I can tell you in detail. Don't worry about that. It's just the basics I'm telling you. What do you mean by whitelist model? So everything is blocked by default. If you want to allow, you can allow it manually. Okay. So this is what I'm telling about without firewall.
So, Mr.
Okay,
Shank, in a small brief, can you give like what exactly the difference between the bridge domain and the EPG? Just in a brief.
No. Again, it's gonna be take a lot of time. So do not worry about that, because for taking that, again, I need to make you understand around 1, 2, 3 hours so that you will be able to understand what is the difference and all. Okay. So it takes times. Okay. So anyone having any doubt till here? All good, guys?
Yeah, one question. So when you scalability is there, so when we are adding the leaf switches, so we can add directly, so no issue. So same way we can add spine also.
Yes, you can add a spine as well. It automatically takes the configuration and then it gonna make it connectivity. So once you plug in your all devices, it's gonna take the configuration from your Epic.
Shank, I haven't. You said something about pervasive gateway, and I did not get actually. Can you just repeat once again?
Pervasive gateway means your gateway gonna be present on every leaf, whatever your device server is connected. So if I have a server which is connected to different leaves, okay, so my gateway gonna be present on all the leaves automatically. So 2, 3 things it gonna help you. First, it gonna remove your HSRP need. Secondly, it gonna switch your local traffic. So if your server wants to talk to another server, for example, if in the below case, Your server 2 wants to talk to server 3. So server will go to the gateway, right? Because server don't know anything about it. It only knows about gateway. So it's gonna send the packet to gateway and then leave on the MAC address table, see it, okay, this gateway is local, and it's gonna send the server to server 3. So instead of going your traffic up to the server 1 or your leaf 1, in case of traditional, we have our gateway defined on the single switch, right? Or a multiple switch as well through HSRP. But again, here it will be automatically come as soon as you connect your server with your particular leaf. So I hope you get it now.
So, Mr. Shank, is there any specific reason to connect the APIC to leaf? We can connect it through spine as well or not?
No, we cannot do it. APIC should be connected to your leaf only. This is a hard-coded requirement. So again, what happens is when they develop the ACI solution, Cisco thought of connecting everything to the leaf. Okay, but then in some cases they got the latency issues and all that stuff, so they started connecting then things to the spine as well. But again, those are very limited things that you can connect to the spine. So for APIC, you cannot connect it to the spine. It will only connect to your leaf only.
Oh, APIC is a device or a virtualized environment?
Yes, APIC is a device. APIC is a UCS C series server. Okay, which is having device. Yes, it is a physical device which is having a APIC software installed over it.
Okay, and regarding 9500 series and 9300, it is epic mode. What does it mean, that epic mode?
Not epic mode, ACI mode.
ACI mode.
So ACI mode is basically the mode which will enable your ACI parameters and ACI rules, because its rules are different than your traditional rules. Okay, so it's gonna enable the SDN for infrastructure for you, software defined network.
Okay, all right. So we must have 9500, 9300 and APIC as a physical
ACI
devices
mode.
For ACI model, in fact, right?
Yes, so you need to have a 9500, 9300. If you have a Nexus 7K, you cannot enable ACI on that.
Okay,
it's not gonna work over it.
Yes, thank you. Thanks a lot.
And one more thing. Like in our traditional switches, we have like R packets, MAC address tables. As here, these concepts are there or no? Because all are devices.
So again, here is also the concept, but again, the MAC learning is a different way. So if you heard about conventional MAC learning, so there are two types of MAC learning. One is traditional MAC learning, which we use in our traditional environment, and there is a new concept known as conventional MAC learning. So here it uses the conventional MAC learning. Again, I can give you the glimpse of it. What do you mean by conventional MAC learning? But again, I'm gonna take the complete 2 hours class related to that. So the conventional MAC learning is, if you know the destination address in your MAC address table, then only it gonna learn the source MAC. Otherwise, it not gonna learn the source MAC. Okay, so this is known as conventional MAC learning. So it is related to reduce your R flooding in your ACI environment. So again, there are a lot of optimizations in the ACI. That's why everywhere in the world right now, if you see in the data centers, the migration of ACI is happening nowadays. Okay, so again, those are the concepts that I'm gonna take it in the complete class.
I have a question, Jank. In order to run a device in ACI mode, does it require any special software like?
Yes, so ACI license is required. Again, you need to purchase it from the Cisco, okay, to run it. So this is a different license pack that you want to purchase.
So just the license needed, not software, right?
So again, software is also needed. Once you get the license, again, the software code is different for ACI. For Nexus, it is different. For ACI, it is different. So let me just open it for you.
And I think some devices are like both. They are supporting NSX and ACI mode as well. But
So
they
again,
cannot. They cannot run the same, like the two mode at the same time, right?
yes, you cannot run it at the same time, but you can switch it from one mode to another at any point of time. There is a migration tool which is available. Through that, you can switch it. So Cisco what recommends, if you are not ready with the ACI right now, you can purchase the device, you can run it in NXOS mode. And once you are ready with your switch migration to ACI, then you can migrate it. Okay. Okay, so you can see it here, related software. So software is different. So if you see on the last Cisco Nexus 9000 series, ACI mode series software release. Okay, so this is a software for your ACI mode of 9000. Okay.
Okay.
So this is how they do it. Okay. Anyone having any other question related to this before we wrap up? Okay, so let me just tell you one more thing related to our batch. And okay, someone asked one question with the Sagar. Do we need to have Nexus experience before doing the ACI? So you don't need any of the Nexus experience. There is only one concept which is we used in ACI, which is of Nexus, which is known as VPC, which stands for Virtual Port Channel. Okay, but once I take the ACI class, what I used to do, I gonna explain the basic of Virtual Port Channel, and then I gonna do it. Okay, so there is no need of knowing of the Nexus concept before doing it. Okay, because ACI and Nexus are completely two different worlds. Okay, so you don't need to have, you should need at least a basic understanding of what is MAC address, what is IP address, what are protocols, what is OSPF, all that stuff. Okay, so basic stuff of that at least. Okay, why we use BGP and all that stuff. Okay, related to the lab, again, you guys know about lab access, but I will tell you about those who want to curious about their home labs. So if you want to build your home labs, guys, we're not going to provide you any software or any license. We're gonna, if you want, we're gonna provide you our UNL topology, which we created on the EVNG or PNAT. We only worked on those. We not worked on GNS3. Okay. So, but the minimum requirements for all the three. So for SD-WAN, you should need a RAM of 48 GB to run our topology. Okay, and you should need a 8-core CPU. Okay, although 6-core CPU also can work, but things are little laggy. For ACI, you need 16 GB of RAM and 4-core CPU. And for Nexus, you need 32 GB of RAM and 6-core CPU. Okay, so for those who want to run it on your home environment, these are the requirements. Okay, so now anyone, it's time for the, so that I'm done with the topic of the day. Now you guys are having any questions, so I can take those questions. So let's do 15 minutes Q&A.
So I have a question.
Yeah,
Previously, I was working with Catalyst 6500 series switches, which were also very useful. But would you also like to explain why Cisco is not evaluating those switches and why those switchings are not coming in the market? Like they are coming in the market, but not comparable to Nexus.
So again, previously what Cisco used to do, in the distribution of core layer, they're putting the 4500 and 6500 series switches, right? So now they're gonna completely replace that one with the Nexus series. So now they are promoting the Nexus only. Okay, and if you're not running with the ACI, then you should go with the 7700 and 7000 series. That's why if you see in the 7000 series, Cisco introduced a switch which is 7009. So that's why it is equivalent to your 6509. That's why they make the same number of line cards, which is 9 line cards it can support. Okay, so that is how things work.
Thank you. And the one more thing, the VXLAN, does it work only with Nexus and or it also works with the 6500? Because there are still companies who are working on Catalyst data center switches. So is it the same for the Nexus and also for?
So again, I need to check for that, because for 6500 I'm not sure, but it supports Catalyst, some of the Catalyst switch, but I'm not sure about 6500. I need to check in the data sheet whether it can support or not.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys, anyone having any other question? And by the way, guys, on the next weekend, which is on 18th of September, 18 and 19, I'm starting with the CCIE lab. So again, we have 2 classes, especially webinar for the demo classes for CCIE lab enterprise, where I'm gonna take 2 case studies. One is for your BGP route reflector in a very much detail, where we will see why we use the BGP route reflector and all that stuff. And another one is going to be on the port channels and VPCs and VSS. So what is the difference between VSS, VPC and all that stuff? So those going to be heavily loaded classes. Okay, so feel free to join it. Those are 2 free classes that you can join in on 18th of September. Okay, guys, so related to today class, anyone having any question related to labs, timings, batches, fees,
And
etc.?
what is the timing, Frank? What
So
time?
for this,
the same time?
So for which one you are saying?
On 18th,
18th, the
class.
timing is 8:30 p.m. IST. It's gonna start at 8:30 p.m. IST. So which is 10 minutes from now. So 8:30 p.m.
Okay. Yeah.
And those next 2 classes, did you prepare those classes according to the exam point of view? Like you were saying VSS, which is again used for the catalyst switches, or did you prepare according to like what is going on real time in the industry?
So again, if you see, I'm gonna mix match all the things. If you have previously attended my classes, so again, I used to provide the info related to design. I used to provide the info related to what is going on real world, and I used to provide it related to the example. So I'm gonna take all these 3 parameters into account when preparing any of my class. Okay, and guys, just join the WhatsApp group. There you will get all the information and link to join my all demo classes which are coming. Okay, so anyone having any other question before we wrap up?
Shank, one question. So for this ACI lab, are we going to use a ACI tool which is Cisco providing, or it is something different?
So there is an emulator on the virtual environment, okay, which we're gonna use it. So it will run your control plane and management plane, but data plane will not work. So end-to-end plane will not work. Other than that, all the faults will be generated. Everything gonna be working.
Okay.
Even if you see the Cisco D Cloud Labs, they also use the same tool.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Any other question you have?
This switches, these are can be cloud-based and physical devices also, right?
So these all are, if you talk about ACI, if you talk about Nexus, so these are physical devices.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's ACI coming in the virtual in our public clouds also, right?
So as of now, it is not publicly available. They are doing the testing, but right now it is not available. If you want, you can take the public cloud and then you can deploy it there. But again, direct support is not available right now.
And these are GUI based or completely CLI model?
So again, your Nexus is gonna be CLI based right now. Okay, there's a tool which is known as DCNM through which you can take the GUI of your devices, but it is a very limited functionality. No one even use it, or some enterprises use it. Cisco again is working on new tool which gonna provide the GUI of Nexus. Okay, but ACI is completely GUI. CLI also you can do the configuration. SD-WAN is also GUI, and CLI is also an option. But ACI and SD-WAN, if we talk about, it will be your completely GUI based, okay, to do the configuration.
Okay.
But in my previous organization where I used to work for one of the largest data centers, I used to work ACI in the API mode. So we will put it all the configuration through scripts. We never use GUI, never use CLI.
And OS code upgrade, all that GUI you can do.
Yes, that is only we can do it via GUI only. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So this batch we're gonna start from this combo SDN orchestration batch. We're gonna start from 25th. It is a weekend batch. It starts at 6:30 p.m. IST and it is a 1.5 hour to 2 hours class on weekends, where we're gonna take it SD-WAN, ACI, and Nexus, or ACI, SD-WAN, Nexus, whatever we will decide. So you guys can join and we will have a full in-depth discussion. And my classes are 95% practical based. Okay, theory is only 5%. So I used to do everything in practical, and what I recommend you guys to do the practicals accordingly and with the parallelly.
And this is a 3 months course.
So again, every module is of around 1 to 1.5 months. So it depends. Okay, but yes, every module is of 1 to 1.5 months. So it will take 3 to 4 months in total. Okay. So previously we used to do the weekdays batch, but this time we're gonna use it in the weekend. A lot of people asked for the weekend batch, so that's why we decided to do this batch for weekend. Okay, guys, any other question? So I think we all are good here. So thank you everyone for joining the today's session, and we're gonna meet in the live class or on the CCI on 18th of September. And on 25th of September, I'm gonna start with both the batches, which is one is this one and another one is CCI. So I'm gonna start with both the batches. Okay. So thanks a lot, everyone. Have a great day. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.